40-year-old serial killer has been arrested for the gruesome murders of 8 women.
I've always had a bad temper, so I started stabbing for some reason.
We're talking about a guy who hunted women for fun, tortured them, and threw them away like garbage.
When I looked at him, I just thought he's the devil.
I tried to creep her, tried to choke her.
He was so evil that it made me afraid.
I saw a knife, I saw a gun. I finally realized he's gonna murder me.
I put it in the trunk, and then I just started driving off.
He was running down the middle of the road with a machete over his head. And I just think to myself, just run.
Okay, let's talk about the third time. I believe that would be Jennifer. Well, I don't remember what year it was. Maybe 1992, perhaps. I think it was about September 19.
I'm Jennifer Asbenson, and I survived a serial killer. In 1992, I was living in Palm Springs, California. I was working a really good job with a lot of physically and mentally challenged people. I worked a nighttime shift. I showed up really late, 3 nights in a row. I was told that if it happens again, I was gonna be fired. That night, I was going to work. I saw the bus go by, and I just felt distraught over this. I was on the verge of tears. But then I heard a really kind voice, and the voice just said, "Hey, do you need a ride?" I thought it wasn't only a ride he was offering, it was a solution. So I got in the car.
We made a lot of small talk. Said something about being an actress. She said she just graduated.
When we pulled up to my work, he asked for my phone number. I wasn't interested in him, but I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So I thought, this will be the perfect chance to just give him the wrong number, and I'll probably never see him again. I left work a little before 6 in the morning, and I heard a car right alongside of me, and it was him.
Hey, how you doing? I see you remember me from last night. I just want to get some breakfast.
I said, I can't. And he said, then I'll at least give you a ride home. I didn't want to ride the bus. So I got in the car. We're driving, and he brings up the phone number that I gave him. And suddenly, he turned into another person and just screamed. I called that number, and some old bitch answered. And I just went into shock. He bashed my head into the dashboard. I saw a knife, I saw a gun. He tied my wrist behind my back. I just couldn't fathom what was happening, that this could be real, that this could be true.
This was his pattern. Find women, usually that were either vulnerable or alone, and then at some point, he would now assert control over these people. Jennifer thought she was accepting a ride from a nice guy, and unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way.
I just saw another human being turn into a complete monster. He reached over and put my seat all the way back. The next thing I knew, he was driving. I knew we are going to the most desolate, creepy, most abandoned place in the desert. I could see the telephone poles, and we passed one telephone pole, and then the next, and the more that passed, the more hope that I lost. I realized that I was probably never gonna come out of that desert. He finally stops the car. He took my seatbelt off, he put my seat up. It was very violent. He took out the knife and he just reached underneath the sweatshirt, just did a flick of his wrist and pulled my bra right out. He did the same thing with my underwear. And he climbed onto my lap and he was sitting towards me, looking right into my eyes. You could see nothing in his eyes, nothing but rage. That's when I knew he had done this before.
Six years before Jennifer Asbenson was kidnapped, there was a beautiful young college student named Robin Brantley who was found murdered in the parking lot of Saddleback College in southern Orange County.
But always had a bad temper. So we were just upset about something. So I started stabbing for some reason.
Robin was the first murder that we know of. She was attacked from behind and stabbed 41 times. She died with her eyes open.
There was virtually no physical evidence. We couldn't find a motive on this. The Robin Brantley case went cold for several years.
I'd been at his mercy for about 45 minutes. He then tried to rape me, and he couldn't perform. That made him really mad. The violence level started to escalate. He was squeezing my neck so hard. I felt my face get really, really hot, and my vision started to get really weird. I finally realized he's gonna murder me.